Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm down here and these are my hands. So this week we're talking about texture. I'm actually going to take off my lanyard real quick so it's not making noise. This week we're talking about texture, and I've had more than one student ask me if we could do a Zentangle project. And Zentangles work really good with texture just because they're kind of, the best way to describe a Zentangle is an effortful repeating pattern. So it's almost like a doodle but with more focus. What you're going to need is white paper, pencil eraser, that's usually pretty normal, and then I want to do them in black and white, so you want some black drawing tools. I have just a pen, a skinny Sharpie, a thicker Sharpie. I might use all three, I might only use one of them, I haven't decided yet, but I gathered 3 different ones just so I could have my options. To start our Zentangle, I've looked at a few different ones, but I think we're going to do ours in almost like this swirl design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make different lines, probably 4 or 5, coming out from the center. So in the center of the paper, I'm going to make a little dot, just so I know. And then I'm going to make lines going out to the edge from that centerpiece. So 1, 2. So now I have one section for one different Zentangle. I just put down my 3rd line, which gave me 2 different sections. There is my 4th line, so now I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th line, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. And I think I'm going to add one more line to break up this big space. So now I have these 6 different areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that I can add 6 different Zentangles into. If you want to add more lines and make it smaller sections, you can, but I think I'm going to leave it at 6. So I have these 6 different areas that I can add different Zentangles to. I'll post pictures of different Zentangles in the same folder that this is in, but like what I was saying, Zentangles are just like a repeating pattern, an effortful design. So you can be inspired by looking at other ones, or you can just think in your mind, what are different patterns I could add into here? And Zentangles are effortful patterns, which make it almost look like it has texture because it's texture week. Whenever you're working on a Zentangle, go slow and take your time in each of them. You can do it in pencil first, but I think I'm just going to go straight in with the Sharpie. And if you can see for this one, I'm doing kind of these like triangle shapes, and then I'm doing smaller triangles on the inside. You definitely don't have to do this. You can do this if you want. But whenever, like what I was saying earlier, Zentangles create a lot of texture because it's an effortful repeating design. So you're not just scribbling stuff down. That won't look as nice. And you can go back and pretty much add whatever details you want to your own Zentangle as long as it like repeats itself. It's not just like a random scribble somewhere. I'm going to go through and finish this, and then I will be back and we'll see what other Zentangles I can get on here. Alright, 6th grade, so I just finished this area right here. It took me about 8 minutes. I will be honest, this is my first Zentangle I've ever done. I know some people have done a lot. Obviously, I've had people ask for them. If you're trying to think of something else to put in, I should have like example sheets that'll give you different ideas, but I'm literally just Googling Zentangle examples so I can be like inspired for these other ones. If you get to a part that you're like, I don't know what to put in the next one, you can always just look into different Zentangles other people have done and get inspired from that. So I'm going to look around and I'm hopefully going to try to find different ones for each of these sections because I need 6. I'm working on my 2nd section and I just thought I'd pop in and tell you guys what I have going on. Because this one isn't that dark, I decided to add one that's a little darker So what I've been doing is adding in these little like half circles, almost like little scales. You can see them right here. And then on the end, just because Zentangles have so much design to them, it's always better to add less than more. I'm adding little scallops on the end, and then I'm going back and I'm coloring in the little inside of the circles, excluding those little like outside scallops or bumpy lines, whatever you want to call them, on the outside. And that's what I'm going to keep repeating all the way down. My hand is cramping a little bit, but I got this one done, so now I'm going to move on to my third. Because this one's a little lighter and this one's a little darker, I think I'm going to follow that same pattern and do one that's like a lighter, light line work, and then a heavier line work, lighter line work, and then a heavier line work, meaning that there's just more black. I'm coloring it in more. For this one, I think I'm going to do kind of line design. Even though I already have lines, this one's going to be like my sideways line. This one's a pretty easy one, but it looks really complex when you do it. I'm just adding in a few different like wavy lines. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to add in another line throughout, but as I enter each, if I'm scooping up, then I'm going to scoop down, up, and that'll make it almost look like it's 3D. Let me show you. So that one's going down. So this one will make up. And then it'll go back down. And then it'll come back up. So each time I'm crossing a line, I'm kind of changing the movement. And that's going to make it almost look like it has like this like 3D line going through it. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I will be back. I'm going to show you guys one more time how I'm doing this one, just because I think it's a pretty easy one to do. First, I added my squiggly lines going down, and now I'm adding one line throughout, but I'm making it go up or down, like scooping it up or down, and then it kind of gives it like this wavy 3D feel. So if you can see right here, these ones are kind of scooping up, so I go up, and then for the next one I go down, up, scooping it down, up, and then I'm just changing every time I hit a line, and I'm making for sure I'm following the pattern I kind of already created. And that's what makes it look all wavy. So up, down, and then following that pattern. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and then I'll be back. Alright, 6th grade, I just finished my Zentangle. I have 6 different Zentangles. Some of them took less time, some of them took more time. I'm going to hold it up down here so you guys can see it. What I did for a lot of these was I just looked at Zentangle examples, and then I kind of made it my own and created it how I wanted to create it for the 6 different sections. It looks really nice. It takes a lot of focus. I ended up only using my Sharpies, and then of course pencil and eraser. For my last step, I erased all of the pencil lines around, and that's pretty much it. I'm excited to see how your guys' come out. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. I have someone working on my kiln, but that will be it. I will see you guys all later. Have a good rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this.